Is that a concerted effort to have the intensity go up a little bit?
Well, I mean, that's how it's got to be all the time. And I think, film doesn't lie. When we watch the film, we took our foot off the gas, and that's no way to win games, especially at home. So it was a hard video session, and when you have those, it tends to turn into a hard training session. But we need to do that on the weekend, not during the week.
So I guess, with it being, a long road trip, how do you make sure that intensity stays and it's, not, doesn't tire them out, I guess?
Well, I just think it's constant reminders. I mean, we'll work on their loads, make sure that they're in a good place. But when they're here training, it's got to be all out, and we'll worry about the rest of it.
To have a tough result like that, do you feel like that could galvanize the team if it's, handled correctly?
Yeah, I mean, there's lessons in everything, and honestly, there's not a whole lot of lessons that you get out of winning. But when you lose or tie and feel like you gave away points, there's a hell of a lot to learn from that. And watching the video today, we highlighted a lot of those where we can't be having those kind of moments this late in the season. So, those are 2 points that we'll look back at and regret later on in the season. So the message was really clear, and I think the response was good. We just got to keep it there.
Yeah, I guess with 12 games left, you guys are right out of that top 4 spot, but then there's clubs right behind that it's 9 through 5 is jumbled up. I guess how do you ensure that the team finishes strong?
Well, I think I said this from the beginning. There's no easy games in our league. You have to show up for everyone, and everybody can beat you. So no need to look at the table. You just got to worry about yourself and make sure you take care of your game, especially at home. And that's been a topic of ours, and I don't want it to be. So we just have to keep going and learn from what we didn't do on the weekend and make sure it doesn't happen again.
And just looking ahead to Monterey, what is the film showing them?
Well, you got a new coach, so a lot could change. It could be the same. No one knows. But what you'll find normally when a new coach comes in is there's going to be a bounce from the team that you're playing against. We got to expect that, an emotional bounce, and we're going to have to live up to that first and then worry about tactics later.
Yeah, how tough from a game planning standpoint does that make preparing for a team with a manager change in the middle of the season?
Well, I mean, there's some tactical changes, but the personnel pretty much stays the same. We have a lot of video where we can watch and get ideas of what that is. But in the end, when a new coach comes, like I said, it's more about the emotional upkick because everybody's fighting for their position again. We have to match that. The tactics part is less important as if we don't match up to that first part.